we would like to share our top tips to implement gratitude in all situations. And I'm going to let my friend here, Deb, kick it off because I know that this whole conversation about gratitude is one of her favorites.
She's got a gazillion things running in her mind. What a beautiful way to start and the podcast. And I was just thinking, even when you were saying, you said the words where you can feel the support we have,
Mhm.
and I went, that's gratitude.
Yes, it is.
Just then, just when you said, feel the support we have, and then dot 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 dot, and I just went, oh, that's gratitude. And that's being able to feel that support.
Mhm.
And even sometimes we can't see it or we think it's not there.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Welcome, dear listeners. Welcome, dear Deb. Welcome. Here we are with another one of our deliciously motivated mindset conversations. And OMG, do we have a goodie today? This, this is going to be a beautiful, beautiful conversation, I'm sure. We're going to talk about top tips to implement gratitude in all situations. We might maybe need to underline that and bold that, all situations. Implementing gratitude in all situations. So, dear listeners, if you've been with us before, we've started this new way to kind of get ourselves collectively into this space and time, into this energy. And it basically what I'm going to talk you through is I like to think of it as heart coherence. So when we're talking about gratitude, it's really awesome to just drop into your heart. In the Western world in particular, we are all a little bit over-focused on our thinking mind, being left brain, being rational, being thinking things through, working it out, planning, strategizing. But in order to implement gratitude, in order to actually access your inner wisdom and your peace and your inner guidance, it's really essential to drop into the wisdom of your heart. And so I have created numerous different techniques and ideas of this. But the idea of heart coherence is that we actually collectively join our energies together. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I'd like you to just feel your feet, wherever they are, as you start to deepen your breaths. Start to really pay attention to your breath, maybe even notice how your breath inflates your tummy and then lets it out nice and slow. We're all just landing here in this moment. Another nice deep breath. Allowing yourself to be supported by whatever you're standing or sitting on. And then just take your awareness into the space around you, the cosmos, if you like, and notice that there's a connection there too. And breathe into that, acknowledging the support and the love and the support that we have. So now we're kind of connected to the cosmos, connected to Mother Earth, feeling grounded. And now I'd like you to take your attention to your heart. And if it helps, put one hand or both hands over your heart. And I'd like you to pretend, set an intention that you're breathing in and out of your heart space. With your hands there, breathe into your heart. And breathe out, intending that this loving energy encircles the planet and connects with everybody else doing this, no matter what time or place that we're doing this. Breathe in gratitude and love and support. And breathe out, putting your own energetic stamp of your heart, your loving energy, intermingling it with everyone else doing this with you. And just acknowledge this powerful connection that you have with all beings on this planet. Take one more nice deep breath. Now we're going to open this conversation. So just maybe shake your body a wee bit, just kind of recalibrate, bring yourself into this space. And we encourage you to pick up some form of note-taking device because we would like to share our top tips to implement gratitude in all situations. And I'm going to let my friend here, Deb, kick it off because I know that this whole conversation about gratitude is one of her favorites.
She's got a gazillion things running in her mind. What a beautiful way to start and the podcast. And I was just thinking, even when you were saying, you said the words where you can feel the support we have. And I went, that's gratitude.
Yes, it is.
Just then, just when you said, feel the support we have, and then ... And I just went, oh, that's gratitude. And that's being able to feel that support. And even sometimes we can't see it, or we think it's not there.
Yeah.
But you can feel it. And sometimes you just have that overwhelming, even when you're walking down the street and you think, you're walking down the street and you're thinking a gazillion things, and then you go, oh, Moira, I remember that conversation we had. And right there's a beautiful love of support that goes with gratitude towards Moira, but also towards yourself and your friendship you have. And just, I don't know, it was just the way you went, feel the support we have. And I went, we often don't, oh, no one's around, there's never anyone around, but you can feel people.
Yes,
you can feel their emotions. So to bring in that gratitude, you're not alone. I'm going to say you're not alone ever. People, you're not alone. You may be physically alone in some things, but you can feel that support when you can pull it in. You can go, you know what, there's my auntie in another country, or you can feel people, and that's another level of gratitude towards them and yourself would be something. Well, that's not how I was going to start, but anyway.
But there we have it.
but do you know what I mean?
I do.
And that feeling of the body too is incredibly important for gratitude. Well, for getting through life, is if you're not feeling your body, you're missing a lot of signals
of guidance. Of guidance and things to be grateful for. Right?
Yes.
Because like you say, sometimes it's just a point of needing to slow things down enough to kind of go, gosh, I'm grateful for my feet because I get to walk around this place. I'm grateful for my lungs because it helps me breathe deeply and feel the sun on my face or feel the cold wind in my face.
Well, it is that. And I mean, I say to people for gratitude, top tips to implement gratitude in all situations is go to bed feeling thankful. Wake up feeling thankful. And people go, what do you mean wake up? And I'm like, when you wake up, say 5 things in your mind what you're thankful for. And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, even I get to wake up today. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, I wake up and I'm cozy in bed, or my dog's got my duvet and I've now got half a duvet on me, or doona, or what, a bedding on you. But be thankful for those things, because, and it's not about comparing yourself to others. It's about, because that's, well, yes, I did wake up, and some people don't. No, it's not about other people's experience. It's about you. What are you thankful for? I woke up to experience another day here, to do whatever. And these things could be, I woke up, I'm thankful for my pillow, or fresh sheets, even if you just start with those little things, because they're not little things.
They're not.
they're things that keep you moving. But if you can just see the beautiful blessings as you go along, stop and smell the roses.
Yeah.
Be thankful that you could bend over, you could smell, that you could see the rose, that you could feel the energy, you could have all those little things. They're not little after all. I don't know, I feel like I'm going on a
No,
tangent.
but the thing is that it's being grateful for everything in all situations.
It is.
That even
Yeah.
if, let's say, even if you're stuck in a traffic jam and you're being held up and you're going to be late for an appointment, but even in that type of situation, and even in forms of discombobulation, which let's face it, happens. Life has got these types of, a spanner gets thrown in the works, and even in those situations, there's gratitude. You can be grateful. You can be grateful that you've got a car. That sure, you're going to be late. I have a little piece in my mind, this little mantra for myself, that when I start
everybody
getting
listen to
stressed,
this, because just say listen to this, because this is what I do now because of Moira. This is gold.
I'm going to get there at the exact right time.
Yeah.
I will arrive there at the exact right time. And every single time it's the truth. Without a restatement, you see, even just doing that, it stops that inner chatter that, oh my God, what are they going to say and what's going to, and that's a waste of your energy. I'm going to get there at the exact right time.
Yeah.
All is well. All is well, right? And so that's the thing, is that, to your point too, Deb, is that there is always something to be grateful for, even if it is just, I'm grateful for this bed I'm lying in. I'm grateful for the warmth in my house. I'm grateful for my cat. I am grateful for my cat. Actually, that's the having pets, I think, is a really beautiful way to help implement gratitude too. Right? So
and
wake up.
patience and emotions and everything. Having animals. Sharing.
I think that animals show us unconditional love. And gosh, they always have something to be grateful for, right? Even if it's just a little tiny patch of sun coming in the window, that would keep my cat happy for hours.
Our oldest dog, Ben, he follows the sun around when it comes into the house.
Yeah, my
like if
cat
it
does
moves
that
and it
too.
moves.
Yeah.
That's our Ben. Finn, he doesn't care. He's in his
just
own
grateful being Finn.
Yeah. He's just grateful he can bite Ben and Ben goes, "What are you doing?" And then Finn's like, Ben's grumpy with him, like, "Leave me alone." And Finn's like, "Yeah, you're talking to me. Oh, I'm grateful. Thanks." Yeah.
Right. Sometimes, because I wanted to kind of cycle back, you were saying about going to bed thankful. I actually have a gratitude practice that I do every single night. And it's just, as I've settled down, said goodnight to the cat, I actually review my entire day. My conversation with Deb, or my conversation with this client, or this, my walk outside. And my original guidance to myself was I wanted to be grateful for 5 things in that day, but I usually lose count after 20. But even if there was challenges, I can still be grateful for the challenge, because it taught me something about a situation, or it taught me something about me, or it let me see that sometimes I'm even more resilient than I know I am. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, gosh, I've recently had to come through some very stressful situations. And I had to have a little tantrum every so often, just to blow that off, blow off the stress of a situation. But I'm grateful for everything that I went through, because I think that had I got stuck with there's nothing to be grateful for in this situation, or this is all going to hell in a handbasket. That's a saying that I've heard many people say.
I've never heard that one. That's a great one.
But if you stay the course, so sometimes that is the best way to actually get to a sense of gratitude, is to stay the course. It's like, okay, this actually brings me to this really cool quote that I came across just recently. And it's an Eckhart Tolle quote. And he said, "Whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it."
Oh,
See?
nice.
So accepting it as if you had, yes, it
Yeah.
calms calms your nervous system, and you can say, whatever is showing up in this present moment, I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
Right?
And I love that because yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I just had I had a moment thinking about things. Just went off on a very quick marathon tangent there. I
Whoops.
think, yeah, no, what you do at the end of your day, that's exactly what I do. I
Right.
go and I plan my day. And so I say to people 5 just to start. Just
Right.
to start.
Yeah, just to start.
And or even yeah, think about your day. I was thankful I woke up like this, and then you go at 10 o'clock. I got to meet somebody, and I was thankful I had the opportunity to do that. And most of the time, I barely get past lunchtime when I think about it. I'm like
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
So I do mine in the afternoon as well. I section my days. So in the morning and I'll have a recap and I'll go, oh, could have said that differently, and what if I'd done that? And and it's not that I overanalyze things. Actually, as I say that, I probably do to other people, but it's about just reflecting back to my heart and seeing if this feels right, my body feels right, what I said, is this how I want to be portrayed out there? Is this actually who I am when I'm not on camera? Those sort of things, and it's all back a reflection. And Moira and I were just talking off screen from here, and we're both doing a course, and it's an interesting course. We're doing it together. It's opening up different levels of me. So as much as I started off and found it quite challenging, for me, quite challenging, I've also there's a lot to be thankful for in that situation. There's a lot to be grateful for. I'm uncovering a layer that I knew was there that I didn't know that was there. So in those challenging times, there is massive gratitude, and I can, well, that's pretty much what my business is around, gratitude.
Yeah.
One thing, like I can rattle off 1,000 people's problems and tell you the blessings they got out of it.
Yeah.
But that's not going to help people, because you have to find your own that feels right for you and relevant to you. But there is not one situation, and I give you my word on this, people, because people go, no, 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 no. There's not one situation that I cannot find a benefit or a blessing or a gratitude out of that has happened to you that you may find traumatic. But it's breaking it down and just sitting in that moment. And one of the things I say to people is, write yourself a letter. How often do you write yourself a letter to acknowledge how magnificent you are to have gone through something or are going through something? You may not have got out the other side, but expressing yourself that I'm thankful, Deborah, for signing up to something that I didn't know I was going to be for me or not, but I was going to do it, and uncovering that, because it is part of an opportunity for me to learn, to grow, to evolve, to switch to. Does that all make sense? But I mean, I encourage people to write themselves a letter or a note. Also to other people, that's a whole different bandwidth as well. But when you write yourself a letter, how often do we actually tell each other, ourselves, that we love them and we've done a great job today, and you've got through stuff? How often do we do that? We don't. It's only often we do that when chaos is just you've got to pull it out to keep yourself functioning, type thing.
Do you know the thing that comes to my mind as you're describing this, though, is it's trust. It's trust, right? Because to your point, like taking the course that you and I are working on together, it's about, well, I signed up for it. I don't like this, and this is triggering me, or this is feeling like I'm not sure. But trust, I signed up, so there's a gift.
Yes.
And this is something that I often say to my clients, is that I get it that in chaos, crazy making, horrendous situations, and let's face it, I kind of the poster child for some chaos, crazy making, OMG stuff. And if right in the middle of it, somebody said, "Oh, Myra, this is going to work out brilliantly. There's a gift in here," I'd like be saying, "No, how on earth could I have gratitude in here? What could I find grateful? Or where's the gift?" But that's why I'm saying it's so, so important to come back to trust. And even if all you're doing to yourself is, I trust that the gift will make itself visible or known
Yeah.
in due course, and I'm grateful that I have what it takes to navigate this, to keep taking the baby steps, to go forward one step at a time.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It does. And that's just that reminder that you've been in situations before and you've survived, and 2020 was our year of pivot,
Yeah.
and well, we're all here, so we survived. And that, as much as that was a worldwide discombobulation, there was some beautiful moments that came out of that.
Oh, yes.
But it's to take the time and see the flowers over the weeds.
Yeah.
But also appreciate the weeds as you're dealing with them. And it's not just avoiding the weeds. So and I'm going to say trauma, I don't know if trauma is really the word, when wobbles hit,
Turmoil. Yeah.
When that hits, it is that level of trust, but also know that you've been through stuff before and you at that time did not think you could survive.
Yeah.
And
And
so
so
it's a
that's when we
reminder
start
about,
saying, I've got this, because you wouldn't get through it. You wouldn't be in the situation that you couldn't get through, right?
I don't believe the universe gives us a situation we can't handle.
Absolutely.
And that's why if I look at my sister and I, her situations, her wobbles are different to my wobbles.
Of course.
And my
course.
wobbles are, and growing up in the family, there's one child who gets more lashings than the other. and because they can handle it more than the other. There are those things in that family. So
But
even
the characters are different, and so therefore the reactions are different, right?
that's right. And yeah, their storybooks completely different. Not completely different. But we have been through things before, and I think it's just that reminding ourselves. And if you don't think you've been through anything, just go 2020.
Yeah.
Just go 2020. It's a universal pivot. And we got through what we got through, even though it was wobbly.
Yes, it
To a
was.
scale of 2 to 10 to 15 out of 20.
But that's why I come back to that mantra in your head. Sometimes that we just have to keep repeating that. I've got this, I've got this, I've got this. And what can I do? Well, I can't do this and I can't do. See, sometimes people get too caught up in that, well, I can't do that and I can't do that, and that's not working and that's not working.
Well,
yes, but
that hasn't worked in the back. I've done that, never worked any other time, and it's like, yeah, okay, let that go.
But remember the polarity of it all. That for the chaos and turmoil and whatever it is, that's the calmness and the ease and the peace already exists.
Mm-hmm.
So where are you going to put your attention? And that's coming back to trust too. Just because I can't see peace around me doesn't mean it does not exist. And so sometimes too, that when we're looking externally too much, like, what are these people doing? And oh, look, these people over here are arguing, and these people are accusing each other of this, that, and the next thing. And that to me is a sign. If you start getting triggered and pulled into those types of things, I take that as a sign to bring your awareness in. And maybe it is just put your hand on your heart and create some calmness and ease and gratitude. I'm so grateful that I get to create this within me.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's that celebration too.
Yeah.
Celebrate. You've got, and that's what I'm doing at the moment as I go through this course, because it's unlocking a heck of a lot about my personality.
Right.
A heck of a lot that I didn't realize. I kept putting the lid on the lobster pot as the lobster was trying to pop out. When something happened, I'm like, oh, we'll just put that on there. Oh, we'll just put it. And it's pulling out a whole lot. But I'm getting to
the
celebrate.
lid's not going back on just yet.
Nope, I'm trying to put it on, but the little blooming lobster keeps coming up. But it's beautiful for me to celebrate that it's time now. and things happen around us, but it's time for me to lift that lid on that
to
last spot.
uncover this. And
Yeah.
you see, that's coming back into your, we've talked before, I like to say about the aligning your head, heart, and higher self.
Mm,
I feel like that's what's happening for you, is that your higher self manipulated this whole situation so that you sit here right now. And it's like, okay, Deb, now it's time to get your head and your heart into alignment. Allow yourself to feel more of that heart energy,
yeah.
right? Because I
And
actually said that before we hit record, was to remember you got to feel your feels. We all do.
yeah. And Dr. John DeMartini says everything's on the way,
Yeah.
not in the way.
Yeah.
And it does go back to that trust and that certainty, and can I survive and can I do this? But it knowing that everything's on the way, not in the way. And if it does get stagnant, just stop and pivot. Pull back. Like, not everything has to be done all guns are blazing. As I hear myself say that, I'm like, yes, Deborah, okay, I heard it.
But sometimes even with that, if you have an obstacle, like that's one of my favorite quotes that you often reference when we have these conversations, that everything's on the way, not in the way.
Mm,
But sometimes it can be very useful that if something comes up, there's an obstacle, what can you do to take on an interested observer? Like, oh, I had no idea this was going to come up, and let me see, what can I learn from this? What's the gift here? What's the strategy? What's the best choice here? And
yeah.
so there's a lighter way of interacting with that, right?
Yeah. And when you're looking to look at it, then you can look at what other people observe as well.
What do you mean?
So, like, seeing how you handled a situation, and you're going, okay, what's the gift in there for me? But then also opening it up to what's the gift for others? What's the gift for others to see me go through this situation? Or what's the gift for others to how I reacted, whether you see it as a positive or negative reaction? But when you look at the gifts to others, or the blessings or the gratitude to others, it opens up a whole different world of, oh my gosh, it's actually okay to be me. It's actually okay to do this. It's actually okay. Instead of having that, I'm a bad person, or I shouldn't have said that to that person, or something, which opens up just a whole different level of
Self-criticism.
Well, actually, yeah. Oh, that word compassion, a whole level of compassion to actually understanding other people as well. That can happen. That blooming compassion word, which we just had a big convo off camera, but I was like, don't say that word, Deborah. It's not.
And of course, as soon as you say don't say that word, we know what's going to happen.
I know it's there going, but having that appreciation for others, that they're part of that, your journey with them, and they got to experience that, it just allows you to release that shame or guilt for the things you've done or not done.
Well, it does. What I made a wee note of when you were saying that was self-acceptance.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because and what made me think of it is when you were saying, well, I shouldn't have done that and I should have done this, and there's a lot of shooting in there, and that means no, maybe it's time to step into some of those 4 agreement energies and recognize, I accept that I did the best I could with what I knew, what I had, what the resources were, how I saw it, how I interpreted it. I did the best I could. And as soon as I say that out loud, I have this client that says, really? No, I didn't. I didn't do the best.
Yes, but at the
time,
time.
that is the critical piece. And so self-acceptance says, that as I sit here and maybe I do look at my timeline, like what I did last year, 10 years ago, and it's like self-acceptance says, I always did the best I could with what I had then. That's
Yeah.
it. No more dialogue like, really? But you could have done this, or you made that choice, or you should have done that. Or
And that's that mic drop. That's it. Boom.
yeah, done.
Yeah.
Because that is, and when we come into this gratitude in all situations discussion, that self-acceptance is saying that you deserve your unconditional love, and that the core essence of you is requesting, demanding, pleading for your loving kindness. And accepting yourself, that means all of you, all of the quirks and the peccadillos and the strangenesses and the, oh, I don't want anybody to know about me about this.
Yeah.
That I do this, or I think like that, or I use those words, or I don't use those words. It's okay. Can you lovingly accept all of who you are? Gratitude starts to spin more and more and more the more you can do that, I believe. Does that make sense?
It does. And I will give you one of my favorite quotes from John Martini. And no matter what I've done or not done, I'm worthy of love.
Mm.
And I've heard him say it in programs, and he says it's to people, no matter what you've done or not done, you're worthy of love. And then he gets them to repeat it to say, no matter what I've done or not done, I'm worthy of love. Now, love doesn't necessarily mean a partner or anything. It's actually, I'm worthy of love being present right here, right now.
Right. But
So
it doesn't necessarily mean the love of another, because you
No,
can't
yeah,
really
that's
expect the love of
right.
another unless you love yourself.
Absolutely. Which, when you were talking about self-acceptance, I went, okay. But then some people go, oh, I'm worthy of love. Oh, I get a new partner. No. That's not what it means.
That's
It
only
means,
one flavor of love.
yeah. The love of yourself, the love of
Mhm.
yourself. No matter what I've done or not done, I'm worthy of love. And that just sums up gratitude for all situations. And, when we think about top tips, it's just knowing that no matter what you've done or not done, you're worthy of love.
Yeah.
But it goes back to that trust. You've been through this before, hand on heart, those things. It is. But I do love that one.
But it's
Yeah.
also to remember and remind all of us that we're spiritual beings having this experience. And so sometimes I had a conversation just recently on another course that I'm doing. I'm doing
Yeah.
2 courses at the same time. Oh gosh. I'm grateful for the courses that I do. We were talking about purpose, soul's purpose. What is your soul's purpose? And this is
Yeah.
something that I brought into the conversation, was that somebody had said their soul's purpose was freedom. And yet the person that was being given this insight was, well, I'm not free here, and I have this constraint, and I have this demand on my time, and I have this, and I had. So my reaction to that was that sometimes, in fact, I think all the time, if we have a soul's purpose, we need to, as spiritual beings, we're going to experience everything that is not that in order to come through the fullness of that. And so to take that example, if your purpose, your soul's purpose is freedom, to experience freedom, then you may experience every constraint, every limitation, every obstacle to that. But when you celebrate it and have gratitude because this is part of my soul's expression, it shifts the whole game, right?
100%, 100%. And I love that you said that, because that's that thing. Because what is it? What you resist persists.
Yes.
And if you're so determined to have, something, and that's where it is, and I'm tunnel vision, and then you're going to get all the other obstacles in your way, so that you can learn to love all those obstacles and realize that your vision is
part of the wholeness of it. Yeah.
That's right. But it changes. And I think gratitude in all situations, if it's if it's giving you a wobble, we've got Christmas coming up, and I think about that, and I think people going, oh, I've got to go have family, or I've got to do this, or I've got to obligated to do this, those things. If you shift your appreciation to that situation, it is not going to run you. It's not going to control you. You're not going to go there grumpy. You're not going to get that anxiety building up, that emotional turmoil. You're going to be centered, poised. I'm grateful to go. I'm grateful that I get to spend some time with people and I don't have to cook, or I do have to cook, or whatever it is. But having that opportunity to be thankful for that, when you go, your energy at that event is different.
100%.
It is no longer, I was going to say bum clenching, like, oh, I don't want to go. But you know what I mean? Like, oh, I don't want to go.
Resisty.
Yeah, resisting. Yeah, that's nice play of words. Thank you, Moira. But it is that, because that tension that we have. But when you actually go, you know what, I'm thankful I get the opportunity to do this today.
Yeah.
And you go do it, and that whole dynamic changes, and you come out and you go, oh, that wasn't so bad after all. It wasn't that. It's because your energy has changed. So you're approaching situations from a heart place rather than a frustration place.
Yep. 100%. And I know I've said this on previous episodes. I say it a lot to my clients, is that if you find yourself in a situation where you're saying, I have to do this, I should do this, I hate doing this, I've got to do that, just pause, just witness that that's what's happening. And if it is, it's okay. Remember, you've got to accepting that's what I'm doing. But see, can you change it to, I get to do this? So instead of I have to go to so-and-so's Aunt Maggie's house, I have to go there. Well, I get to go.
Yeah.
Just that is so simple, but you just feel it. You cannot feel obligated when you say, oh, I get to do this.
I know. And even saying, see, I say I love to. I'd love to.
We've talked about that before. You love to.
But you can't. And I say, oh, I don't want to go to my aunt's house. Oh, I love to go to my aunt's house. You actually can't say I love to. Even if you're faking it, you can't say that without a physical reaction in your body. You can't say it with a downhill smile or shrumped up shoulders. It just doesn't work. Your physiology doesn't work. So when you say I love to, without you even knowing, your shoulders automatically step back and there's a glow in your face. Because I encourage people to do it. Look in front of the mirror and go, I hate doing something, and then going, I love to, but always end on love to. Please just don't end on the hate.
Yes, definitely. Shake off the hate part.
Yeah, that's it. But you'll see the difference.
You will.
I choose to. I get the opportunity.
I choose to.
It's because your shoulders just go back.
Well, when, and you may have noticed this just through my own body language, is when I'm saying I get to, I have a little inner child skip. I was like, oh,
I can see your changes. Yeah.
And there's this little, and so I mean, yes, I love to. I do actually say I love to also, but it's that oh, there's a sense of freedom, there's a sense of play. It's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to discover now?
And you can't bullshit. You can't
bleep.
Yeah, you can't undo that. Your physiology just grabs it, and it goes with that. And next thing you know, you've got glitters and sprinkles and glitter and that's around you before you even know it's happening. And it's just one little tip that runs us on that. I can't believe our time's up.
That's gobsmacking, actually.
That's bullshit. That's rubbish. What happened today? There's no gratitude in that. If you'd like a level 2 to this one, we could do a 20-hour masterclass on just gratitude.
Yep, I'm sure we could.
We could. So we're going to wrap this up because otherwise we will go on a tangent. And they're our top tips to implement gratitude in all situations. Moira, where do you want to kick this one off? My notes are all over the place today.
Mine are too. I'm kind of, yes.
I love it.
But well, I'm going to start us off with what you kind of kicked us off with this about the feel the support. Feel the support that we have. We do live in a loving universe. And I
Mm.
know that there's situations out there that people are sort of shaking their fist and saying this ain't a loving universe. But the truth is it is. There's it, and so it's about recognizing you're never alone, you're energetically supported and connected in this beautiful, loving matrix. Choose it. I get to be in this, to immerse myself in this loving energy. Don't know about
Yeah.
you, but that's a beautiful way to start off any kind of form of gratitude, right?
Totally. Today I get the opportunity to.
Mhm.
Today I get the opportunity to record a podcast with Moira. Today I get the opportunity, I'm in Cromwell with my family. I flew in last night, I fly out tomorrow. Today I get the opportunity, like there's a lot of things I'm grateful for. Yes,
Yeah.
it's taken away from my other family and all that stuff, but I get to take this opportunity to feel that support
Yeah.
in what's going on. And it
Yeah.
is gratitude. Yeah.
Definitely.
We talked, he goes with these notes. Let's go for this one.
Mhm.
I mentioned about doing 5 things in the morning and 5 things at night. And
Yeah.
it's just, and look, you can do 50 things, you can do 100 things, and you can write them down and you can think them in your head, whatever it is. I mean, having a gratitude journal is pretty powerful for when things wobble. You can go back and go, oh, look at that. Just a reminder. Oh my gosh, I remember that day and didn't think I was going to get through that, or how I was feeling. It doesn't have to be 5 things. The key is to start, and it's momentum.
Yeah.
What am I thankful for right here, right now?
Yeah.
So everybody, just right here, right now, I want you to write one thing that you're thankful for in these notes. Just write one thing you're thankful for. For me, right now, I'm thankful I'm got this opportunity to hang out with my parents for a couple of days. Just right here, right now.
Yeah.
What about you, Moira? What just one thing? Moira's like, we didn't plan this, but what's one thing you're thankful for right now?
I'm thankful for the mute button so I can mute myself when I cough.
I had my head down, I looked up and I was like, where did you go? What happened? But yeah. Yeah. So we didn't have that. See, they're little things, but they're so significant. They're
Yes.
so significant to us to keep through our day. And when Moira says, she goes to bed at night, she actually, which is what I do, is I think about the things that I'm thankful for right from the start of the day.
Yeah.
All the way through. I break mine into sections though. But when you do that, you go to bed with a clearer head. You
You
sleep,
do. And it's such a
wake up
beautiful
differently.
energy to go to sleep in. Yeah.
That's right. That's why people say meditate or anything. Yes, or anything. I don't mean anything, but just doing that allows that dust to settle in your brain.
Yeah.
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 The next one I read out to you, that quote that I came across, this Eckhart Tolle quote. And he said, whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. It just feels so empowering. I get to do this. I get to engage with this situation, this present
Even
moment.
just you talking, then your whole energy just changed. I get to do this. I get to
Yeah.
engage. You can't. Yeah.
You can't feel ungrateful.
You can't when you're saying those words. Your body just won't allow it.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
That's why it's important to listen to your body, right?
Yes. And so one of the things I wrote down was the small things are big things after all.
Yeah.
Even just going, I'm thankful the internet worked today. Actually, that's a big thing.
That is a big thing.
Because I'm at my parents and I'm down the other end of the house, the wing of the house, and I'm like going, uh-oh. But I'm thankful for that, because even those little things are actually big things. And I'm grateful. I'm thankful that I get to smell a rose bush. Or I'm grateful it's raining because I don't have to go out in the garden today and I don't have to water it. Just all those little things are actually big things that have a bigger impact on you, but it's just appreciating them as each step as we go along.
Yeah, talking about steps, there's that quote. Who said this one? A journey of 1,000 miles, it begins with one step.
Oh, yes, I've heard that.
Yeah, so I think that was Ralph Waldo Emerson, I think, maybe said that.
Of course, and it is one step. Actually,
It
you're
is, it's
right.
one step. And so that's the thing, is feel grateful for the one step and the one step. Because sometimes when we say, oh, like the little things, it's like, why are you going to wait for the 1,000 1,000 miles before you say, oh, yay, I did it. It's so
Yeah.
important to feel grateful for the small things, the
It
step by
is.
step, right?
Yep.
The next tip that I had written down here was trust. Trust, one of our favorite. Trust is an inside job. But
Yeah.
trust, and even if you are in a situation of discombobulation or turmoil or trauma, that maybe you cannot see the gift, maybe you cannot see this is for me, but trust that it is. That it's just, okay, so now I can just focus on, maybe it's just the tiniest baby step.
Mm.
And say, I've got this, or all is well in my world, or whatever strategies you need to just hold on, because you wouldn't be in that turmoil if you couldn't come through it. Right?
Yeah. And one of the things you talked about was the car. You said, I'm going to get there at the exact right time.
Yes.
No, and you say that, and I say that to myself. I go, the perfect divine time's coming up. We're going to
Yep.
get there at the perfect divine time. And just those things, you're sending it out that you're actually appreciating the journey again. You're sending that to
Yeah.
the universe or whatever. Trust is a big one.
It really is.
Trust is just our standard, that and the 4 agreements and gratitude and celebrate, and they're in there.
Yep.
You've been through this before.
Yes.
Which is that part of that trust as well. You've been through this before. You've been through a turmoil. You broke up with your boyfriend or girlfriend or anything when you were like at school, and you've survived and you've found love again.
Yeah.
All the, oh, I'm not going to find love again. Well, you found yourself in the mirror, but you found yourself in all that process. But you've been through wobbles before, and we get through.
Yep.
And going back to those wobbles that you had, they will have been a 10 out of 10. But now when you look back at them, you're like, oh, that's nothing.
Yeah,
But at the
exactly.
time, they were a 10 out of 10. Don't dismiss what you've been through before, because you've been through them before. You've shed tears. You've had your realizations, and you've got through. So it's just that reminding again. Yeah.
100%. Next one I have here is where you referenced John DeMartini's quote about everything is on the way, not in the way. And then I had tacked on to that one that if you get faced with some form of discombobulation, or things are not going the way you thought it was going to see, can you be an interested observer? Like, oh, what am I going to discover now? What do I get to do with this new set of circumstances or this new trajectory? What's here for me? So it's just being an interested observer, an interested participant with it, right?
Yes, and I think that's me doing this course. I'm like, oh, what's going on here? This is another one, which takes me to our next tip about the gratitude is celebrate. You've got something to work on.
Yeah.
Celebrate there's something there, because if you're not celebrating life or you've got nothing to work on, you're done. I'm going to say you're done.
You're done.
You're done. We'll just leave it at that one. But celebrate that there's something going on. Celebrate that your emotions are still functioning. Celebrate that TV's challenging you, or technology, or weather, or
triggered
something.
you.
Yeah, something your wobble, but celebrate it, because there's an opportunity to unpack yourself again at another level.
Definitely. The next one I had here was self-acceptance, because that's the celebrate is also about self-acceptance, accepting everything about you, all the warts and peccadillos and everything. Things that you think, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. No, maybe it's okay. Right?
Yep. And that's when I talked, and as John says, no matter what I've done or not done, I'm worthy of love. And one
we
of the
should get
things,
bumper stickers and stickers and t-shirts, and that's such an important statement.
I know, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I mean, I could tell you a story, or he would tell you a story where he went into a prison and got them all to say that. Now I'm downing it, trying not to, but he was telling us the story, and he said not one dry eye was in the room. The prison officers and the wardens and the thing, just to get them to say that would have been, and they're in prison for a reason, yes. And if you've got somebody who's been put away in prison because of something that they've done to you or something, but knowing that we're all in our own journey, And I think
Yes.
that's the other thing. But he's told me that story many times. So when you think you've done that, when we talked a little bit about self-acceptance, think of how this gratitude is to other people for what
Mhm.
you've done or not done. Just if you can look and just go, actually, okay, it got my mum and dad closer when I stopped talking to them.
Yeah.
Or just those little things. Or it made me go, is this realizing when my friends stopped ignoring me, or my friends ignored me, because I said something. Actually, I realized that for the last year I haven't been wanting to be friends with them.
Mhm.
Like, have a look at that benefit to others and realizing that actually, no, we're not aligned anymore. Just
Mhm.
those little things shift your heart perception on yourself.
Yeah, shifting your perspective for sure.
I also had somewhere way back is write a letter to yourself.
Oh, right.
Write that
Yes.
gratitude letter to yourself.
Mhm.
Be thankful for that you're sitting in this situation. If it's an icky situation or an amazing situation, be thankful for that gratitude. So write those things, because when you're having a moment, go back and look at them and you're like, wow, look at my life. Look at
Mhm.
my life story. There's been quite a lot go
Mhm.
on, and whoo, it's just another level of appreciation. Yeah.
Acknowledgement, definitely.
Yeah.
The next one I had written down was about the acknowledging the spiritual component of our lives. And that's when I told that story about we all have soul's purpose. Our souls came into this experience for a purpose. But then to take that a step further is to acknowledge that if your soul's purpose, and my example was freedom, the soul's purpose was to experience freedom. As a soul, you are going to experience everything that is not freedom in order to come out of the experience having the full 360-degree experience of that, right?
Yeah.
It's such an important part, because that in itself, that truth in itself will help you not get into, well, why is this happening, and why did that experience, and why did this show up, and I'm a light worker and I always want to face the light. Well, even in that one, you're gonna face all the pieces that are the darks and the shades of gray also. Right?
Yeah. Well, if you don't appreciate that situation, you get more to appreciate, because your experiences keep getting chaotic
Yep.
to show you to appreciate that situation.
Yep. What you resist persists.
And that just changes dynamics just like that. If you don't want to go
100%.
somewhere,
Yeah.
find out the benefit of you going to that situation.
Yeah.
And benefits to others. And literally your whole energy changes when you go to those situations.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've got one more. Have you got you've done
I have one more also.
Okay.
So
I'm
you
gonna
go.
do my one more. My one
Yeah.
more is, you are not alone on this journey. Moira and I are here.
Hmm.
And I'm going to take this one, the last one, then you can end on your beautiful one. But we are here. We are here to help you with this situation, with anything, to find those gratitudes in all situations.
Yep. Definitely.
Listen to a podcast, reach out. Don't just know that you don't have to do this on your own. And yes, there's a level of trust, but just trust us. Again, trust us and come back, because we are here for you with our over 80 years of experience, which, I think it's about that, wasn't it? I think,
It's somewhere around there.
of helping people. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So the last one I had is my favorite. If you're saying things like I have to do this and I should do
Oh,
this and I've got to do that, is to just change it. My one is I get to do this. Deb says I love to do this. You could say, you can do I love to do this. I get to do this. I choose to do this. It lights me up to do this. But
yeah.
when you use those words, it's something very, very simple, but it changes your state. And that
Yeah.
helps you elevate yourself and actually start seeing that there is so much to be grateful for all around you, right?
There is.
There is.
What a beautiful beautiful podcast. And I can't believe it's finished. Top tips to implement gratitude in all situations. Thank you, listeners, for taking notes and going through this and just knowing that there is gratitude in all situations. When you're ready to hear, you may not hear it straight away. You may
Yeah.
take your time, but
Yeah.
when you're ready, it opens up to you.
Yep. Love that.
So if you liked this, the next step is to let us know your favorite tip.
Mhm.
Bring somebody into our Facebook group and share it with them, and just ask them, what's your favorite tip that we've given here, and what resonated and what didn't resonate. Open that conversation, because we're all heartfelt beings and we're all connected in one way or another.
Mhm.
So that support is there. You just have to ask for it. So if you like this, next step is bring someone into the group and have a conversation with them. Ask them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
So I want to thank everybody for coming today, listening today. There'll be another inspiring podcast next week that comes out, or go back and listen to the other ones. Thank you, Moira, for coming. Thank you, the internet down in Cromwell, New Zealand.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Yep. Phew. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's us signing off on our Deliciously Motivated Mindset conversation with Debz and Moira. What a blessed day we have today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, dear Deb. Thank you, Internet. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.